You've tuned into Unpause Your Life with Dr. Cali Estes. Your access to success strategies and more to help you move onward and upward with your life. Listen in each week as she interviews others who have really taken their essence to the next level and truly unpaused their life. Now here's your host, Dr. Cali Estes.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. This is Dr. Cali Estes, and I am founder of the Addictions Academy, the Addictions Coach, and Rehab Rescue. Welcome to Unpause Your Life. This is a great podcast where we showcase people who have done something extraordinary with their life. I welcome you, and I hope you enjoy all of our guests.
On my way, found a reason to wake up another day.
You are listening to Unpause Your Life with Dr. Cali Estes of the Addictions Coach and the Addictions Academy, and I am super pumped about my guest today, Damona Hoffman. She's an awesome, amazing female entrepreneur, which you know I love, and let me tell you about her. She is the host and producer of A Question of Love on TV's A+E. She's host of the groundbreaking TV series #Black Love, again on A+E. Host of Dates and Mates with Damona Hoffman, which has run for 6 years and is among the top 20% of podcasts worldwide. That's amazing. Reoccurring relationship contributor on CNN, BET.com's love expert and relationship writer. She is a certified dating coach with 13 years experience, author of the acclaimed online dating book, Spin Your Web, How to Brand Yourself for Successful Online Dating. And she's got 18 years experience in the entertainment industry as a TV producer and network executive. Welcome, Damona Hoffman.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited you're here. I love strong female entrepreneurs, and we have such a good following for women that want to hear about things that other women have done and how they've broken glass ceilings. So tell us a little bit about you and how you got here.
Oh, I broke through all of the ceilings, glass and otherwise. I actually started out my career as a casting director for television, and I taught classes for actors in how to market themselves because I found there were really talented people that just didn't know how they were presenting themselves and what to do once they got in the room to make their best impression. And I was single at the time and dating and frustrated, as I'm sure a lot of your single listeners are, with the whole dating process. And it dawned on me that this technique for teaching people how to tell their story through their photos and really make the best first impression was essentially what I was doing when I was online dating. And so I applied those techniques in marketing and presentation toward my dating profile, and I ended up meeting my husband online. Dr. Cali was like 15 years ago. But I realized that really my system really worked. It worked for me, and then people came to me and asked me for help with their profiles, and it started to snowball from there. And I realized that this technique of understanding yourself and knowing how to present yourself in the right way, clearly and with purpose, it just changes everything. And so that became my mission to teach other people this technique and find love.
That is such a unique niche, because I remember when I was single and I would go on these dates from the Tinder app and what have you. And the guy would stand in the bathroom and take his photo and the shirt off. And I was always like, ew, there's no presentation. So it's such a unique thing to hear you say that, because people don't think about that. They just take a photo and pop it up there. And then a lot of us go, okay, why am I wanting to date this person? Or what about this person do I find interesting? And a guy standing in the bathroom, taking the selfie in front of the mirror, there's nothing interesting about that. So you cover all of that, correct?
Absolutely. And I hate the bathroom selfies. I'm doing a feature in O Magazine, February issue, and they're giving away all my online dating secrets there, but I coached one of their editors, and one of the things I said was absolutely no bathroom selfies. But beyond that, I really encourage clients to reframe their dating philosophy and really get a strategy around dating. So many times people say, well, you know, I've been looking for love, or I've been hoping for love more often. And they expect it to just fall in their lap, to just come to them. But I say, think of the other things that you're successful at in your life, your career, your family relationships, all of those things you really invest in when you see results or you get the love back that you want from it. And there's this air of mystery around dating that it should just happen magically, and we should just know how to do it, and love should fall in our lap. And I've just seen time and time again that when you actually put those same skills that make you successful in other areas towards dating, you get results and things happen quickly. It's not a mystery. There is a system, and that's what I teach people to do.
That's awesome. Now, what do you do with people that say to you, well, I seem to be dating the same person? You know, they might have blonde hair, brown hair, but I really seem to date the same guy. They're always an accountant or a CPA, you know, and they always have an alcohol problem. Or what do you say to that?
Dating patterns are meant to be broken if they're not serving you and they're not leading you towards the relationship that you want. I really get crystal clear before we even talk about what your profile needs to look like, how to text on a date. That's a big thing, how to text someone to get to the date. Now that's a part of the communication. Before we even get to any of that stuff, I do a lot of work on clarifying who your ideal mate is. And we do visualizations, we discuss it, we make lists, we make visions and vision boards and all of that whatever helps you to clarify who is that person that I want to date. And if you've been dating people that don't serve you, if you've been dating people that are always codependent or have a substance abuse problem or are not showing up for you in the way that you need in a relationship, then that has to change. And one of the things that I really do with the visualization is get into the feeling of what it's like to be with that person. How does it feel to be with that person? What are the values that they hold? And how does that align with the life that you're trying to build? And once we crystallize that, then we can create a dating plan to find that person. But if you're just dating by chance and whoever walks in the door or whoever sends you a message on Tinder, you're going to get a hodgepodge and you're going to continue to attract the same negative things and relive the same negative patterns that aren't working for you.
So this is almost like building a business or building a brand. You're putting yourself as your brand out there and you're looking for specific things that would fit your brand, correct?
It's just like in the book title, How to Brand Yourself for Successful Online Dating. And a lot of people have accused me of not being a romantic dating coach. And look, I've been with my husband 15 years. We have 2 beautiful children. I love romance. We have date nights every week. I love romance. I love seeing my clients send me wedding pictures and baby announcements. I love romance. I do all the strategy stuff with you so that you can get to the date and have the chemistry and the mystery and the romance unfold there. It's just laying the groundwork.
Okay, so what would you say to somebody that says, Damona, this is a lot of work. You want me to do all of this work to find my perfect mate. What would you say to that?
I'd say, yeah, it is a lot of work. One of my phrases that I often say is date like it's your job. And a lot of the clients that come to me, particularly the women that I work with, they are actually already married. They're already married to their job. Mm-hmm. So the process is more about taking back that time from the other areas of your life where you've been investing. And you continue to invest in the things that give you love and that make you feel valued. So if you see that when you work 60-hour weeks, you get a promotion and you get more money and your boss says good job, or you're striving for that kind of recognition, you're going to continue to invest in that. But then that takes away time that you could be investing in your relationship. And the way I look at it, the person that you choose to blend your life with, that you hopefully are with for the rest of your life, and your finances are entwined with your partner, your emotional well-being. There's so many things that are impacted by the person that you are choosing to be with. And when you look at it that way, I think that there's nothing more important than that. And so to me, yeah, it's work, but what is it costing you to stay in the wrong relationship or to not have that partner and not feel that support and that emotional intimacy and not be financially supported? And, I'm a feminist, so I look at it as a partnership, but if you're not building that partnership and that's something that you want, what is it costing you to not be in that relationship?
I like how you put that. So sure, you can hang out on Tinder and Bumble all day long, but what are you really doing? You're wasting your time. You're going out on dates. I've got a client for you, and I can't wait to send her to you because this is what she does. It drives me crazy. She goes on Tinder within a mile radius and says, I can't find anyone I like. Like, it's a mile. You're in Miami. You have to expand your search. And she's like, okay, 2 miles. I'm like, oh my God, 2 miles. And it's the same guy. And she says to me, I don't understand why I can't find love. And I went through and I said, honey, these are the same guy. They're all narcissists. They're all doctors and attorneys. And it's the same guy. They just look different. And she goes, really? I looked at her and I'm like, oh my goodness, I have to send her to you because she's not hearing that you got to put the time and effort in. She has one photo up. She's super successful in her job. She's CEO of a company, but when it comes to the dating, she just can't get it. So I think she'll be perfect for you because that's what she's doing. There's no time invested. And then she's got the second piece, which is the inner critic. She's always saying, well, I have to settle for this one or that one because, I'm in Miami and it's 7 women to 1 guy. There's always an excuse to it. So what do you do if you have a client who has an inner critic like that, who always has an answer of why they can't break through and find true love?
Well, there's always an excuse. Like I also work with some older women that are coming into dating really for the first time after a long-term relationship ending. And they say, men always want to date women who are younger, or, I can't find anybody because there's everyone is taken. And there's always an excuse that you can make. There's always a reason you can create for yourself. But the reality is that now, today, there are so many dating options available to you. If you even look back 2 generations, women predominantly married men in their immediate social circle that lived within a 5-mile radius of them, maybe even a 1 mile like your client. But it was because they didn't have choice. They didn't have options, and they didn't have the ability to meet your best match from anywhere in the world. So what I would say to your client is to really examine what are the values that you hold dear, what are your long-term goals, and then think of what is the kind of person that would fit into that lifestyle that you're looking to build, not who are you initially attracted to. And Tinder for someone like that is it's sort of an unhealthy dating app to use. And people always ask me, well, what's the best dating app? What's the best dating site? They all have their pluses. They all have their minuses. It's about finding the best one for you. But Tinder is based predominantly just on how someone looks. The profiles, the bios are very, very short. You can find out very little information from that about them. And, there's so much with the swiping where you get into that adrenaline rush of just swipe to the next. Oh, that person liked me. Swipe to the next, where you're not really evaluating who that person is at their core. So I would probably have her try a different site, and probably one where people are making a monetary investment in it, because also the barrier for entry at Tinder is very low. So you get a big range of people who either want a serious relationship or are just looking to hook up. And if she's really looking for a relationship, she needs to go about it in a different way.
I'm sending her to you. She's a friend of mine. She's driving me bananas with this because this is so out of my wheelhouse. She'll send me photos and bios and be like, profile. And I'll psychologically profile for her, but they're all the same. So I'm going to send her to you so you can tell her the same thing I told her, and then hopefully you can help her find love, because I can't do that.
And sometimes you really have to switch how you are attracted to someone and not go just based on the initial reaction to their photo. Like, I'll tell you, in my own experience even, I created a dating plan for myself called Operation Date Nice Guys. I am not joking with you. I called it Operation DNG because I was also attracting the same kind of, like, I live in LA, it's artists, musicians, all these creative types that, were dating multiple girls, were not that invested in the relationship. And I recognized that I had a dating pattern that was not serving me. And I said, I need to date guys that are not just nice, but really are meeting me halfway emotionally, that are respecting me, that treat me the way that I deserve to be treated. So I had to really shift it. And when I went on my first date with my husband, honest to God, my first reaction was, he walked in the door, he had his Banana Republic wool slacks and his button-down shirt and his V-neck sweater. And I went, oh, he looks so nice. Maybe I have a friend I could set him up with, because he seemed too nice for me. But then I remembered the dating plan that I had, and I said, no, you're doing Operation Date Nice Guys. This is a nice guy. You need to give him a chance. And it took more time for the relationship to unfold. I didn't feel sparks and butterflies on the first date. But the more that I got to know him, the more that I realized he fit into that vision of what I wanted for my life and the life that we wanted to build together. And 15 years later, the passion is still unfolding. But if I had just gone based on initial chemistry, I'd be with one of those musicians with my heart broken.
I married one of the musicians. I am the epitome of the bad boy. I like the tattooed, pierced, etc. But I wanted a bad boy with a good family life. So I wanted both. So I held out till I was 35 to get married to find that person. So I had a dating plan, not I guess as intense as yours. Mine was a list, and they had to meet everything on my list. If they didn't meet on my list, they were out. And everyone thought I was crazy because there's 20 items on my list. Tattooed, pierced, but he had to come from a good family, and he had to have a good moral compass, which you can't, usually most musicians don't have both. So I waited till I found the person, which I guess that would be my dating plan. Correct?
Yes. And you did it with clarity. You knew the life you wanted to build and the person that would fit into that. And so that's why everyone's dating plan is different. And I have no judgment of the dating plan, but I also remove all of the physical traits, because that's what your friend and client is reacting to. They're swiping based on physical, chemical reaction. There's no way you can swipe on Tinder based on an emotional connection and value-based alignment. There's no way, because that information is not there.
Right.
So you really have to get offline. And that's the other thing about online dating that I see a lot of people slipping up on. And I've done this for 15 years. So I was there before the Tinders. I was there even before texting was a big part of the communication and the process of getting to the date. And it's just so important to really connect in person and face-to-face conversation to really identify, who is this person? What do they want in their life? How do I feel when I'm with them? You can't do that over text. You have to move offline as quickly as possible. I'm a fan of the list, but I keep the list very short. I have my clients do just 3 must-haves and 1 deal breaker. And if the person matches those 3 must-haves and, as far as they can tell, doesn't have the deal breaker, I encourage them to go on the date and just 1 hour for the first date, just see if you're curious enough to go on a second date. And that's the thing that really leads my clients through the dating process, is curiosity. Are you wanting to learn more about that person? Not, can I see myself getting married to them? Do I want to meet their parents? Can I be a parent to their child? None of that on the first date. It's, am I curious enough to spend another date getting to know them, and let that curiosity drive you to the second date, the third date, and so on. Gotcha.
So you use this term a lot, love as you are. What does that mean?
Oh, I'm glad that you asked. Well, there's a lot of information out there in the dating world about masculine and feminine and presenting yourself in a certain way for a date. And as I said earlier, I'm a feminist dating coach. So I don't believe that you have to fit into a particular box of what society or someone else tells you is attractive. I believe that it's your job to get clear on who you are and what you need in a relationship in the life that you want to build. And then let that person be attracted to the authentic person that you are without changing, without transforming. I want you to be the best representation of yourself. Like, don't show up on the date, like, with your hair unwashed and, you know, in your, sometimes people do that. They're like, I don't want to look like I'm trying too hard. So, you know, they'll just wear jeans and show up scrubby. It's almost like a job interview. I always say, like, job. You want to put your best foot forward, but it has to be your own best foot. It has to be authentic to you. And especially, I mean, we could go into a whole thing about polarity and male-female dynamics, but I don't think every woman needs to be feminine. I don't think every man needs to be masculine. I think it has to be a balance of what you're attracted to. So show up as you are, love as you are, but love is the best representation of yourself, and then let that attract the right person to you.
So you're going to love this. When I met my husband on the first date, I had been like serial dating before I made my list, and they never really liked them. And I would sit down, and the first question, of course, they would ask me is, do you have kids? And I always said, no, I don't want kids. Well, that was a deal breaker for almost every guy in their late 20s, early 30s. So when I sat down with my husband, we were at a coffee shop in New York, and I said, before we even start, because I was just exhausted at this point, I'm like, I don't want kids. And he goes, okay. I said, I don't have any kids. And he goes, okay. And I said, I don't cook, I don't clean, I don't do laundry. And he leaned over and he goes, what do you do? I said, I fuck and I make money. And he goes, marry me. And I went, why? And he goes, because I cook, I clean, I do laundry. And he goes, and I'd rather lay by the pool than have a full-time job. And I went, this is interesting. That was our first conversation. So when you talk about love as you are, I was so done with the whole charade of trying to be someone I was not to attract the guy I didn't want, that I finally just said, I'm going to do it my way. And that's how I landed my husband.
I do love that story. And it just shows how it works, how when you are clear. And, you know, I also find as people get older and they go on the wrong dates and they get into the wrong relationships, they get more clarity on what it is that they are looking for and what is that life that they want to build. So you knew that, and kudos to you for having the courage to say that up front. How many relationships did you invest in before where you knew all along what you wanted to say in your heart, but you went along with it because you thought, well, so many times people think like, if I let this one go, will the next one come along? So you had the courage to not be afraid of a no.
That, and society tells you you should date a certain type of person. So I was expected to date a guy who could provide a nice house, a nice family, and children. And that's not what I ever wanted. So I had to go against everything my family had said. This is what you do. You know, you're Italian. You marry the boy next door from high school. You get a nice job working at the mall, and you make babies and buy a house 2 doors down from your mom. And I said, no, that's not what I want to do. So when I was 34 and unmarried, they started to think I was gay because it was, well, you don't have a husband, you don't have kids, you must be gay. And I said, no, I just haven't found the right person. And in my culture, my background, that's unacceptable because no woman should be unmarried by 34 and not have kids. So I kind of bucked the system, and finally I just said, I'm just going to do it my way, because every guy I was meeting was I want to have kids, I want to have a nice house, I want to have a white picket fence, and that's just not me. So it took a long time, and it took the frustration of, I'll just do it my way. And then it worked, which I think a lot of women get caught in that, and they say, well, I'm supposed to do a certain thing, or I'm supposed to have a certain type of boyfriend or husband. And that's what I'm supposed to do. And then they don't like the person, and then 3 or 4 years into it, 2 kids later, they go, what am I doing? I'm married to this person I don't like. I have kids that are driving me crazy I don't want. And then I end up seeing them because they're drinking and doing Xanax and trying to escape the life they created that they really don't want. So I think it's very interesting.
And they resent their partner, and then they also resent themselves, and they're living a life, like you said, that is sort of a lie to them. And this is why the clarity at the beginning is really clear, and this is why I will why my clients to death, even about core things. Like I'm of a Jewish background, and a lot of I used to write for JDate, so I'd get a lot of Jewish women that would say, well, I need to find a nice Jewish guy. And I'd say, well, why? And they'd say, well, because I'm supposed to. I'm like, well, why? Well, because that's what my parents told me. Well, why? And then we get into, well, is this something that is really a core belief of yours? Or is this something that your parents or society or someone else has told you you're supposed to want that? And as someone that we talked at the beginning about all the glass ceilings that are broken, I'm Black and Jewish. I've changed careers like 3 times. Every time I get a rule, I'm like, I do the same thing. I'm like, well, why is that the rule? And I look for ways to rewrite it. And so that's what I'm really excited to do for my clients, is to show them that you can rewrite the rules. You don't have to live the life that you're told you're supposed to live. Rewrite the rules for yourself and be in alignment with what you want and build the life that you want, because you only get to do it once.
I love that. Be in alignment for yourself and build the life you want. That's awesome.
Thank you.
You're awesome. I want to thank you for coming on. It's been great. Tell my listeners how to find you, how they can hire you, where they can buy your book. Give us all your information.
Well, the biggest thing we haven't even talked about yet, but the biggest thing that I do for singles and couples out there is the Dates and Mates with Damona Hoffman podcast. So my goal with that show is modern love made simple. I aim to give, just like this, very real, very direct, honest advice about how to live the romantic life that you want. And so I've been doing that for 6 years, podcasting every week. I really love it, and it's free. So there's no excuses. I want to take the excuses away and give everyone we'll level the playing field, give everybody the same chance at love. So I do that on Dates and Mates, and people can find me online at damonahoffman.com. I have a lot of complimentary resources and gifts that they can take and consume videos, audios, ebooks, and get the information to be able to date differently. And then if they choose to do a program with me beyond that point, they'll be in my love community at Dates and Mates from that point forward.
Awesome. And we're going to put all that up for you. We'll put a link for your book and for your podcast and everything, so they can click right on it and hop over.
Thank you so much. I have so enjoyed our conversation, and thank you also for sharing your knowledge with the Dates and Mates community.
Awesome. And thanks for coming on. And you have been listening to Unpause Your Life with Dr. Cali Estes and my guest, Damona Hoffman. Hey, everyone. Thanks again for listening. I really hope you enjoyed the show today. Head on over to iTunes and Apple Podcasts and leave a comment or review of what you think. Or contact us at 1-800-706-0318. If you want to be on our show, feel free to email or call. And if you have a topic, feel free to email or call as well.
Thanks for listening to Unpause Your Life. For show notes and more, head on over to unpauseyourlife.com.
Big shout out to recoveryinnovators.com for help producing this show. Thank you, guys.
I took a walk down the long road where they said that I shouldn't go. On my way found a reason to wake up another day. But they needed to show you all the things that you won't do. Find faith or religion, but nothing to show for it. No need to escape, in love with my pain. said that I shouldn't go. I knew the dangers of flying. Now I'm so far from